And the last one that I got here for today is from Veronica. You had some really great questions. I appreciate you putting these in. These were, what were you allowed to do in the 1 hour that you were out of the hole? Were you with anyone else during that time? And did you look forward to that 1 hour out, or did it make it harder to go back in? Fantastic questions. Let's go with number one. The most important thing to remember in solitary confinement is the word solitary. So you never have any access to any other inmate that's in there. Anytime they get ready to move you out of your cell to, let's say, to the showers or to the rec yard, right? No one else is on the tier. They have two COs that will come. They'll have you put your hands through this little slot in the door. They'll handcuff you. Then you have to get on your knees. They will open the door. One CO will come and put his hand on your shoulder. Then the other CO goes down and he puts the leg irons on you. Then they both help you up. So now you're standing up, they turn you around, and then you walk out of your cell with a CO at each side of you, either holding your arm or have a hand on your shoulder or something like that. But that's how movement goes anywhere you go. There's never a time, at least there wasn't for me, there was never a time when I was in a sally port, a hallway, the unit itself coming to and from showers. I never had any type of physical interaction with any other inmate or able to see them or anything like that. I mean, you might see somebody that's walking to the showers while you're in your cell, but you're never in the same space together. What was I allowed to do in that 1 hour out of my cell? Well, every 3 days, they would have you run through the shower for 15 minutes. So that would, I don't even think that that counted as like part of your hour out. That was just part of hey, guess what? It's your day to go wash your bum. So, but no, every 3 days you get a shower. Shower is 15 minutes. There were some COs that, and not everyone, but there were some that really didn't like doing their job. And I feel bad for those people now because, like, man, if you don't like doing your job that much, I mean, but they would, because we were making them work, is how it was perceived by us. When they would come to get us for the shower, like they would bring us to the shower, you have to go through that whole cuffing up thing, hands, leg irons get brought over. And the shower is nothing more than a cage. It's a cage that's in the corner of this area. There's one on this side, one on this side, and it's got a big concrete wall in between or whatever. So you never have any interaction with anybody else there. And then, they would sometimes go back to your cell and just trash it. I mean, you're out of the cell for guaranteed 15, 20 minutes. They've got nothing better to do. So they would go through and not just search. I mean, there's a difference between searching and what these guys were doing. Searching is, yeah, I'm going to look through some of your stuff and whatever. I would come back to my cell and the mattress would be flipped over. The sheets are ripped off. All my letters are all over the floor. I've got hygiene that's just all over the place. I got Q-tips all over a dirty floor. I mean, disrespectful is how that felt. Getting searched, completely agree. Like, we're in prison. Yeah, we deserve, I guess, to get searched because of, stuff happens, right? But to that level, like, that's where I feel like we can do better. Was that necessary? Did that change anything for me? Did that make me realize anything? I don't think so. It just kind of made me like, wow, like, what was that about? I mean, we're in solitary confinement. I don't have anybody passing me anything. I don't have, just the likelihood of something happening. Very, very small, but I mean, it does happen. So I guess that's why they searched. But did it have to be to that level? I don't think so. So that's kind of where I fall on that. The other thing that we were allowed to do, and really this is the only other thing that you're allowed to do, is they would call you for rec yard. So the rec yard there, they would lead you out and it's this big concrete enclosure. Maybe, I don't even know how many square feet it is, but I mean, I could maybe 15 steps this way and maybe 20 or 30 steps this way. And the walls were like 30-foot high concrete brick. So I never saw any of the mountains. I never saw any grass or people or anything like that. It was always just hanging out inside of this big concrete enclosure. Inside of there, there was, I think, like a workout bar, something that you could do like pull-ups and stuff on and dips and whatever. There was a basketball hoop, but there was no basketball because somebody had popped the basketball or kicked it over or something like that. And, there's no money in the budget for that. So, that was their answer every time somebody asked for a basketball. We were allowed to have like handballs. There were these little blue balls that we would just hit against the wall, and it would come back and you hit it. And it's a good form of exercise. I did a lot of handball while I was down there. So, yeah, that was really the extent of that. And the other thing to remember is, I mean, this is how much they didn't like doing their jobs, the COs. So there's no telling when I may get my yard time. I mean, I may get my yard time at 6 in the morning. I may get my yard time at 6 at night. I may get my yard time at 2:30 in the morning. The call comes over the buzzer. Want to go for a yard? And part of me thinks that they do that way because you know what? We have to at least give them the option of getting out of their cell. But how many people really want to get out of their cell at 2:30 in the morning? When you were in a dead sleep, and they're just trying to check a box off. Again, that's how I felt. That was my perception. Again, if that's not correct, it may not be correct, but I know that's how I and many other people that were there interpreted that, because there were some COs that would give it you yard and your rec time at normal hours of the day. But then there were some that just wanted to check the box for the day and say, we offered it to him. He refused. So that's why he stayed in his cell. Well, I mean, if I went out at 2:30 in the morning, so I was like, if you're going to get me rec, I'm getting out. But then, that stopped too, because then that CO was like, okay, you're going to take rec and make me get up off of my seat. Then I'm going to trash your cell. And I would come back and my cell would be completely trashed. And so, it makes you not even want to leave your cell at that point. If I'm going to have to come back and pick everything up every time I go out of here, yeah, I'm good. And so there was a point. I remember writing to my mom at one point. I'll read it to you in one of the next series here that I have with these letters. But there was a point where I didn't leave my cell for well over 90 days. Didn't go to showers, nothing. I just showered right in my cell. But that's how bad it got with a certain shift that was on. And that's again where I just say, like, I really feel like we can do better. Like, people in general, just do better. Like, do you really have to heap on more punishment and make it worse? I mean, solitary was bad enough as it is. But that is definitely one of my memories from solitary about just how the COs, some, again, not all, but some would come in and really just do what they could to make life uncomfortable while we were there.